In essence, we deal with public complaints, any sort of discipline and misconduct issues, as well as overseeing sort of counter-corruption activities across the force. Criminals obviously would always want to exercise a bit of influence, and information is vital to that. As part of our counter-corruption activities, that's a really important part of what we do. This will be the ACPO Information Systems Security Policy. This is coming in March of this year, 2010, and a big part of this is ensuring that police forces around the country have some sort of protective monitoring within the organisation to allow them to detect, if required, any sort of systems misuse. Allegations of misuse per se are just one of a number of issues which have been highlighted across the country to police forces. Systems misuse in its general sense, as well as disclosure, unauthorised disclosure of information, as well as criminal association outside and inside the organisation. So systems misuse is one part of that, and obviously the links to counter-corruption are evident from that. The types of misuse we look at are essentially what people within the organisation are accessing. Have they, one, got authority to access that information? And two, what are they doing with that information if they are authorised? Clearly, any sort of leakage of information, secure or otherwise, is not what we would want to happen. Certainly the public would not want to happen, and it's incumbent upon us within the police service to be ever vigilant about any sort of systems misuse or disclosure, unauthorised disclosure of information. Well, whilst I can't give you specifics of how many hours and how much that cost us, what I can say is that our current and past investigations into systems misuse have taken up a considerable amount of our resources. The police's most valuable asset is its collective reputation and the confidence that that inspires, both internally with our staff and also with the public. These new regulations will be able to allow us to exhibit and show that we've taken this seriously in terms of protective monitoring, and we're able to effectively look at any type of systems misuse. Should that reputation be tarnished, and there have been a number of high-profile cases in the press recently, that is when the public's confidence gets knocked in the service that we provide to them. Well, there's two aspects to this in terms of the confidentiality and also the integrity of the information we hold within the organisation, as well as on the flip side, protecting the human rights of our employees and what we're looking at them doing. So in terms of the data protection side, it's covered on both angles so that the public can be reassured that the information we hold is secure, and they can have some reassurance that that is the case, but also from our staff side, they know that it's not just a fishing expedition and that their human rights are also protected. Well, for us as an organisation, we clearly identified some gaps that we had in terms of our protective monitoring. We looked at the products on the market, and 3 AMI MAS showed us a single solution that covered all our requirements for protective monitoring. So in essence, that is what really sold it for us. We're looking at data transfers, and that includes screenshots, what people are looking at, plugging in external devices, what are they putting onto those and what are they taking out of the organisation, as well as what people are printing, for instance, in the organisation. This system allows us to monitor all of that in a one-stop shop. In Lancashire, we're looking at about 7,000 users for this system. We'll be monitoring those remotely behind a secure firewall onto a server. The staff education side of this is a key element for us, so that our staff are fully informed about what this system does do, to try and dispel any rumours of Big Brother, for instance, and the feeling that their human rights have been trampled on. And for us also, the leadership within the organisation to embrace actually what is a sensible move in terms of looking at and protecting the information that we hold, and to stop people misusing that information. As part of the research into a system that would fulfil what we needed, Lancashire looked around the country, had a look at other systems, and this system actually in progress and actually being used, and that was used as a basis for developing what we actually wanted from the system. This system will be able to quickly and effectively provenance any sort of information that we get that would trigger or start off an investigation. In the past, that sort of process took a little longer, perhaps not as effective, and we're looking now with this system to be able to do that, as I say, most effectively and quickly. That's right. And this is part and parcel of what we will be telling our staff as well. And there's nothing to be scared of. If you're not doing anything wrong, there's nothing to be scared of. And I will reiterate that the vast majority of our staff do a fantastic job, day in, day out. And there's only a very small minority who will enter into this arena. And those are the people that we're going to concentrate on. And this system will be able to prove or disprove any sort of allegations of systems misuse. Yes, I would. Lancashire obviously have identified that there's been some gaps in how we monitor our information, and certain aspects of that could be seen to be a bit fallible. So we decided that we would get on the front foot with this, and the purchase of this system, as I see, is a really proactive step along that line to ensure that we are protectively monitored. Lancashire Constabulary have an ambition, and that is to consistently be the best police service in the country. To enable us to do that, we've got to be able to demonstrate that integrity across our organisation is non-negotiable, and any sort of corrupt practice is not acceptable. Now, to get that over to our staff is part and parcel of our staff education programme. That's key for us, and this system will allow us to be able to demonstrate that that integrity is there and it's intact, and then when we find people who have abused that process, we will be able to investigate effectively and quickly to find the culprits.